Hi everybody! Welcome to All That Matters and More. Ikamala Mududu.
And I'm Komiki, and welcome guys. Thank you so much for joining us. But before Dudu and I dive right into it, we just wanted to give you guys a quick disclaimer and to let you know that the content we will be providing today is for informative, educational, and entertainment purposes.
Yes, that the opinions and recommendations provided by us should be by no means considered as medical or professional advice. So yeah, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing, my girl?
I'm good.
That's
And
good.
how are you feeling? 2023, new year, new me, resolutions. What's happening?
Love that. Let's just hope this year we won't be teka-teka-ring, halfway through. But you know what? I'm just going to take it as it comes. Like you said, I'm just going to do positive manifestation.
Yeah.
And pray and give it all to God, Dudu, really.
100%. If you cannot fix it, give it to God. And that's the way to go. And I'm so excited. Obviously, back to school season, our little ones are back in there. You can at least breathe and relax and have someone else, have someone else take care of it. But obviously, today's conversation is on social and emotional development, and basically how parents attribute to their kids being bullies, bullied, or bully victims. So basically how their teachings of social and emotional development affect whether their child will fall under the three categories.
Yeah, no, definitely. I also like that you touched on that because it is so important. Our children actually pick up from what we teach them. So I think with the bully thing, it's a very possible for our children to become so victimized because there could be that lack of this wasn't regulated to me as well as it should have been, So then now how do I deal with it when I'm by myself individually?
Yeah.
So I think that immediately that is and besides, parents and children are like always together.
They are.
So I think that that's definitely like, I think that's where it stems from, home and parents and how they teach the children, how then they also communicate. How do I regulate my feelings? How do I then learn how to
empathize,
yes,
or to build relationships. And I think for viewers watching, probably wondering social and emotional development again. But basically, and what it is in children, but basically, this is how your kids build pro-social relationships.
Yeah.
So basically, are they able to speak to other kids properly? Are they able to understand their feelings, control their feelings and their behavior?
Yes.
And are they able to take directions? You get what I'm saying? So this is what the conversation is about and how these influence, because positive social and emotional skills, you know what I'm saying, are able to prevent bullying in schools.
Yeah.
They able to impact a child's well-being. And then this all basically, like you've touched on, it stems from how parents and caretakers or caregivers interact with their kids, because we need to understand that children pick up on these skills at a very young age.
Definitely.
Because they can see that, okay, this is how my mom speaks to me. This is how my mom speaks to other people. And as a parent, are you providing positive modeling behavior?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It's like, are your kids able to pick up on that? And also, it's like how you communicate with your kids. Are you asking open-ended questions?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Are you just taking interest in the things that they like doing? Because one thing is, your child needs to be able to express themselves.
110%,
and that's how you can determine who's okay. My child is able to stand up for themselves and is able to stand up for other people and is able to understand what's happening around.
Yeah.
And they understand their feelings. And me as a parent, I'm able to sort of see, Nana, I understand where you're coming from and acknowledge how they're feeling. So basically, that's just what social and emotional development is. That are your kids able to, do they have the ability to understand other people's emotions and themselves?
Yeah.
And why this also draws back into bullying is because we know that a lack of those skills can potentially affect umntwana.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Could they either be classified as a bully or can they be classified as a victim?
Yeah. And I think that sometimes like parents don't realize, guys, like the way that we also interact around our children has a big part. And social and emotional development is so important for children as they are growing and they're developing, because obviously in the future it leads them to also become maybe adults who need to now maintain consistent relationships, who need to now maintain obviously a good IQ, like how do I regulate my emotions and how, do I do that? So a lot of the things that people don't realize is that our children learn from our parents. And like Dudu was saying, example. So if my mom talks to people a certain type of way or looks down on people, when I get to school, I think that that's the correct behavior because that's what I'm taught. Unlike maybe if that were to happen at home and then the mom comes and tells the child, this is not how we do this. Mom as an adult, she was just angry. What you do is that you verbalize your emotions correctly, and then socially you talk to the person and say, hey, I didn't like this, or I'm not feeling well today, may you just please give me space. But instead, parents also bypass it and leave it, and then they think, well, my child won't necessarily do anything. Then the children harbor all of those emotions. They harbor all of those negative social skills at home. Then when they get to school, it's a thing of kibomo.
It's like,
And the only way you think that it's a positive way, it's because of the reaction that maybe your mom or your dad have gotten. I don't know, am I making
and you
sense?
think aggression is fine, like how you release your energy out is okay. And also understanding that people need to understand that when your kid is a bully or your kid is a victim, that it doesn't happen from school. We understand that school is the central context of victimization and bullying, but that's not where it stems from. It stems from home. You get what I'm saying? And parents need to understand that if you buffer your child from negative emotions or from negative experiences, this is what could potentially lead them to be victimized at school. Because now they don't understand how to counter argue disagreements or fights because they're not used to it. You get what I'm saying? And sometimes a parent's lack of interest or being there just kind of makes the kid feel like, I can do anything. I can do whatever.
Anyway,
I can boss. You get what I'm saying? No one's gonna tell me because mom and dad at home are not reprimanding certain behaviors that I do. So it kind of feels like everything you do is okay. And I think now, where we are now, we've seen what bullying does in school. We've had kids who've committed suicide because of bullying. And we need to look now and say, how do I teach my own child pro-social behaviors, healthy behaviors, how to be empathetic, how to be kind, so that they are able to protect themselves from bullying, victimization, or also defend other kids.
And also for them to also not become bullies, I think. Because then when those emotions are properly regulated, and when your social skills are on par, then I think that you won't necessarily become a bully. But if anything, you will be able to be in a social space where you can command healthy attention and then give it back as well, So I think that it's so important. Like parents really also need to be aware of this. I like what you touched on, guys. Always being attentive towards your child, being aware of their emotions as well, being aware of their social skills and also how they interact and how you interact with them also does actually play a part as well as in how they will also interact with others outside,
Yeah. And I think one thing, if parents are wondering, or aunts or cousins or people like me, well, auntie, that okay, now I have a child, how do I make sure that their feelings are regulated? How am I able to assist in our kids and lineage to have positive social and emotional development? And I think my biggest, like I touched on, asking open-ended questions, guys. How are you feeling? Give the kid room to express exactly how they're feeling, not just are you good? Because that's like a closed question. Like it's a yes, no, right? But how are you feeling? What would you do? Why are you doing that? Do you understand why this happened to you? You get what I'm saying? Then you'll be able to pick up and see, okay, umntana behavior yakhe understand na. You get what I'm saying? And can they take responsibility for the actions that they've done? So
I think definitely communication, just to add on what you said, communication is a big one. Because if you don't necessarily communicate, how the child is somewhat supposed to act and react sometimes, then I think that miscommunication as well can honestly lead to like bigger things. Especially miscommunicating now at school or thinking that you're the boss of everybody. When in actual fact, you could just be like, pass me that nicely. Because you know how kids are. I also think that being attentive to your child is very important, and being observant and aware of how they do things, how you can change the way that they do things. And also, I guess, to a certain extent, also allowing them a bit of independence as well. But then if they try and go like too overboard, you just kind of reel them in a little bit. And then, like you also say, just discussing everything and making sure that you're just always communicating, you're having these conversations with the children, and you're also not afraid to have these conversations with the children,
Yeah, man. I think we've given you insight onto basically social and emotional developments and how these can help prevent bullying. And then just for us to release kinder kids and souls to the world, guys, I think we just really need that. And it would be nice to literally have schools and there's no bullying, there's no victimization, and everyone is just able to learn and love from each other and just be kumbaya, essentially. So, yes, guys, thank you for tuning in.
Where can they?
Yes, if you have, I know this was like pretty short, but if you guys have any questions, opinions, or you'd like to share more, or you feel like you could actually have a deeper dive into the topic, you can definitely email us at imatterandmore@gmail.com.
Yes, guys, you can also find us on Instagram on All That Matters and More. And if you do get time and no pressure at all, you guys can also find us on YouTube, like and subscribe. And if you guys get a chance, at Matters and More.
And share, guys. And I want to apply that pressure, guys. No, please like us.